Hey everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge podcast. Thank you for joining me today. If you're new, if you're not new, welcome back. Today we're talking about Charli D'Amelio. I don't know a ton about Charli D'Amelio, but something popped up. A bunch of people have been sending me this first episode of their Hulu channel or whatever they've got. They're basically trying to be the Kardashians, which again is bullshit. Kardashians should be ashamed of themselves for starting this type of world, making this okay. It's garbage. Influencer families are garbage. But we're going to talk about it from a different perspective. Charli D'Amelio, I feel, is likely old enough to consent to her being online. Her and her sister seem very smart. They blew up in TikTok world. And we're going to talk about this first episode. And we're going to talk about, from a dad's perspective, what it feels like to watch something like that, to look at what's going on in this world. And from a dad's perspective, from a human's perspective, from a parenting perspective, in general, talk about why it's really not okay. Right? Why it's not really even worth it. Is money and fame really all it's cracked up to be? It sort of is, but not really. We're going to talk about it today. But before we do that, let's get to the wheel, spin the old wheel-a-rama, win a prize-a-rama, and move on.
Yeah, baby.
Oh. Gotta dance? Linda Hill. What prize shall you win? Win a prize. Ooh, it's an all three. Congratulations. Sorry, I'm eating popcorn. You win all three. Let's go, YouTubers. Oh. I have no idea why this is down here. I have no idea why Weston has this down here. But it's down here nonetheless. Kristen, let's see what you win. Bathwater, 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 bathwater. Yeah! Bathwater. So you have a choice to make here. I can send you bathwater, or you can choose a prize. Everybody reach out to admin at the Dad Challenge podcast if you win a prize to collect that prize. Otherwise, let's go. I'm super gonna get copyright striked on this video, so let's see how it goes. If I can't upload this, if I get completely struck, so what I'll do is I'll come back, I'll blur it, and I'll change the voice, and then, so I hope you get the real version. If you don't, sucks to be you, but you know what we're talking about. It's a 35-minute episode. We are definitely not going to do the whole thing, but I want to walk through it. But before we do that, we have to know who is Charli D'Amelio. Who is Charli D'Amelio? Based on Wikipedia. Imagine you have your own Wikipedia. That's crazy. Like, she's 17 years old, so it's just writing, like, for me, when it comes to, like, putting your kids online, 15, 16, it's like at that point, I feel like you can have a conversation with a 15, 16-year-old and say, look, if you're going to be online, these are the ramifications of fame and fortune and all that kind of stuff, and they can make a choice. Likely they're going to make that choice. But I think she started a little while ago. Early life. Charli Grace D'Amelio was born May 1st, 2004 in Norwalk, Connecticut, to Mark D'Amelio, former Republican Connecticut State Senate candidate. Woo. So the Republicans. That's for show. And business owner. And Heidi D'Amelio, a photographer and former model. Well, that's probably where this all came from, right? Sounds like she knew the modeling world was a photographer and likely enabled this behavior. An older sister, Dixie, who also is famous. She began dancing at age 3 and was trained competitive dancer for over 10 years. Now, I've seen some of the TikTok dances, and I'm like, okay. Like, there's not really anything there that's like, oh, wow, that's amazing. Like, you've seen some of those dancers do those cool moves where, like, moving their head and, like, and they move, and they're like that pop lock stuff. Some amazing dancers. I feel like Charli got called out for just copying dances and making them her own, or making their, like, arm movements, like, hey, TikTok. And they became super famous. She went massively viral on TikTok. 100 million subscribers, something like that. Just insane. She's definitely friends with people like big time influencers, like bad canceled influencers, and this whole world, they sit together. But she is literally a celebrity. Celebrity is way different than it used to be. It used to be like Hollywood actors and singers. Now it's social media stars, and they have paparazzi following them. hey, we're going to be at this restaurant. See you there. That's basically what it is now. And so they are, I guess she's trying to be the next Kardashian. The argument I'm going to make today is that I don't think she wants to be. I think I guess we'll watch this episode and we'll break it down for you. So I don't get Hulu in Canada, so thanks, Ames. And let's see if we get struck. Hey, everybody, before the video gets started, you're going to hear me say, hey, I hope this doesn't get copyright striked. I just realized you can't screen record Hulu or Netflix or anything. So all we have is the audio of the girls talking. So you're just going to have to imagine them talking. You don't really have to see much anyway. So it is what it is. Sorry. But it's too much important information to not put out here. So I'm sorry you don't have the visual. You're going to have to stare at my ugly mug the entire time. My bad. I wonder if they follow, I guess, being on a show, they likely have to follow the Coogan laws and stuff like that. So this could be one benefit to where they went instead of doing a YouTube channel exploiting them and all that stuff. But how much is she worth? Let's just check that. How much is she worth? Celebrity net worth. She's worth, according to these websites, which are generally wrong, they get it close. $8 million. 17-year-old worth close to $10 million. Hey, can I borrow a 5? Just saying. Hey, Goose. Okay, sorry, let's get to this.
I am Charlie D'Amelio, and you might know me from TikTok.
They're normal kids.
Stop saying your kids are normal kids when they're not normal kids. They're famous celebrities. They're not normal kids. You know what a normal kid does? A 17-year-old normal kid? They go to the mall and shit. Wow. They text their friends and then go to the mall. Okay, this is not a normal kid. Stop saying that, parents of famous children.
And that doesn't change with a following.
Yes, it does. I hope this whole video is like this because I'm going to snark on her parents. Again, Charlie D'Amelio and everybody who's a part of this, these kids who are groomed to be famous, they're the victims, always will be. Okay? So that was already a dumbest statement I've ever heard. So stop saying stupid shit like that because they're not normal.
I'm fostering a dog. This is Jim. I'm gonna find him a good home in a couple of years.
Oh, is this just gonna be like... It's gonna be one of those shows where like made up, they're like, okay, today's show, we're gonna go play checkers at the beach. And they make, like, I don't like reality TV. I've never liked reality television, specifically the super scripted stuff. Like, it's all uber scripted. There's no reality to it. I know I'm talking a lot.
Driving. Let's talk about this.
I'm up to 4 miles an hour.
Ooh, Tesla Model S. Love it. It's probably a P90X too. Lucky.
Call me a Flash.
We had a very fun, happy life living in Connecticut, and this is a risk.
I felt like there was so much more that I could be doing, and I kept getting these work opportunities out in LA that I couldn't do.
So we moved to this massive ass mansion.
Do you look through hate comments of yourself?
Some of the comments could be taken as fair.
Why are you famous? How does it feel to be famous? Literally only because of your sister. Another day, another TikToker trying to sing. Please stop.
But my looks and my voice, I think that's just bullying.
There's always gonna be people that hate on you for no reason.
For me, I'm still looking at all the comments.
I can only do so much, and sometimes you can.
Is that a brother? Is that a brother? Again, you guys know me. I don't know shit about these people. And some people are like, do your research. I don't want to do my research, okay? I don't care that much. But this, I think there's a part in the show I really want to break down, so I'm going to get to it, I promise.
Going through a public breakup was terrible. It was right person, wrong time.
You start crying.
I wouldn't be able to hang out with my ex as much as you do. You love him?
No, you're 17. You don't love anybody.
Family is so important, especially like with what we're going through. I'm just happy that I have you guys every day.
Did you get that on camera? Did you get that? We got that? Okay, we got it. Cut. Okay, you guys go do your own thing because you never talk to each other. And they're laughing because it's not true.
I love music. I've done it my whole life. This is a big step for Dixie to perform live.
It's something, if it doesn't come off right, it has the potential to be catastrophic.
All right, let's do this.
Friday, Friday, gotta get down on Friday. And no shame to Rebecca Black, who I actually covered that song in my band and people loved it. Again, Rebecca Black is just another example of putting kids online, and it's so dangerous. Remember that little girl that danced next to her? She got so much hate she almost committed suicide. Stop putting kids on YouTube making them famous. Stop making kids famous. They are not cut out for it. They are not ready for it. Nobody's prepared for this. And they don't get a normal childhood. And then they grow up to be a-holes.
I'm scared.
The band's writing. Let's go.
We need to do the times 100 video.
It'll make your parents happy.
This is just like gonna set me up for something that's not going to be good.
You think people are gonna be like, why is she on this list?
Yes.
Tell me what you're upset about.
All of the people that are doing a million and more things than I am, I dance on the internet.
Hey, smartest thing she ever said there. She gets that she's famous because she dances on the internet. At least, see, I think something about Charli D'Amelio, what makes her different, sets her aside from like the Paris Hiltons and the Kardashians, is that, yeah, she's vapid and probably, you know, super narcissistic and all this stuff as a teenager, like which teenager isn't? But what she just said there spoke volumes about who she is. I think she understands this might be fleeting. I think she understands that it's probably not deserved and she's capitalizing it and smart and her parents are probably doing that. But I also think that she realizes that it's just not, it isn't what it's cracked up to be. And I honestly do believe that Charli D'Amelio, from what I know, and it's not a lot, is going to do bigger things in her life than this bullshit.
Charli gets very stressed when we go out in public.
No. Millions of people watching your every move. That's like constant terror. I was the one that wanted to move to LA. It's definitely a lot of pressure on me.
And we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about that pressure that's put on Charli to feed her family. Okay? When parents are relying on their children to pay the bills, to move into mansions, to live these luxury lifestyles, the pressure never, ever, ever, ever should be on a child's shoulders, ever. Child actors are the same. The breadwinner of the family should be the parents. The parents are to protect their children. You cannot protect your child if they're the breadwinner. You cannot be a parent to your child if they're the ones bringing in all the money, basically making the rules. Because kids don't understand how to hold on to that. They haven't been taught, they haven't gone through life enough to understand that. And then when they do get that power inside the family, the power dynamic shifts and the kid becomes the boss. Okay? And the parents here who are making millions off their daughter, I want to say they absolutely know that this hurts her and it's bad for her, but they just, again, money talks, bullshit walks all day long. And for what you guys might think about anybody who does this, likely all of us would do it. If you were faced with a $20 million paycheck to put your kids in a reality television show, be honest with me, $20 million, would you do it? Would you do it? It's a tough question. And if you're honest, most people would do it, unless you were already wealthy.
I hope Charli just continues pushing and realizes the opportunity she has right now. I have no idea how this is going to work out in the long run.
I do. And I hope it doesn't end like most child stars. I hope it ends with you running for office, doing something good with your life, running a nonprofit organization, helping other people. Because this stuff here, this holds no value to anybody. Reality television, specifically like Kardashians and the D'Amelio stuff and influencer culture, holds zero value to the world as a whole, okay? And it's so rampant. We idolize people literally for sometimes no reason, just because they got lucky with an algorithm. We allow algorithms to put people in front of us that we idolize. Algorithms are responsible in the future, in the last 10 years, for more famous people than any past manager or like talent scout ever. It's an algorithm. And you get lucky because there's so many people doing this. But again, they're capitalizing on it now because in the future, I hope that influencer culture starts taking a big step back because we need to call it out for what it is, and we need to stop letting our kids be influenced. This became a whole segment on Dadvice, and I'm not even 10 seconds into this video. I'm sorry.
Knowing what I know about our family, we're going to get through it together to tell a true story of us.
No, you're not. I don't like her parents at all already. Oh, they're just normal kids. Are you normal kids who moved to LA and moved into a giant mansion, drive Tesla Model X's, P90X's, and, you know, have paparazzi following you? That's normal. Yeah, my kids struggle with that too. Absolutely normal. And we're just going to tell our story, our true story. You're not going to tell a true story. Any family out there, specifically family like this, and we know that everybody has problems. You're never going to get a true story on one of these shows. So stop. Don't give me that bullshit.
Pretend like we like each other. There's cameras here.
Oh,
That was the most truth you're going to get out of this entire series right there. And everybody thinks that's a funny joke, but that's actually exactly what their family is like. I guarantee it. See your face? Yeah. Look at this house. Holy shit. TikTok dances bought that house. Teach me TikTok dances.
Charlie, good morning. Can we come in?
The camera crew's here. Hi, camera crew. If that was a teenage boy, he'd be like, just wait a minute. Just saying. Just wait a minute. Throws a sock across the room. 116 million followers. And they put the Black Lives Matter thing there. Woo! 3.1 million hearts, 143,000 comments. See, the first thing she does when she wakes up, a 17-year-old, is not get ready for school. It's check her social media stats. That's the most important thing to Charli D'Amelio right now. And that's a lot of us. We do that too. A lot of us do that, but not on a scale like this. That, what you're seeing right there, represents hundreds of thousands of dollars, by the way. How do you sleep in a full hoodie? What? Okay, you're in California. Whatever. I'm jealous. That was a flex. If you can't even brush your teeth without checking your phone, chill. This is a parenting failure, by the way, too. This whole video is going to be about parenting failures, not Charli D'Amelio or Dixie D'Amelio failures. They are not the ones, they're the ones being failed by their parents here, right? So, but again, remember what I said. They bring in the money, the parents have become the dependents. And that is a huge dynamic shift that kids should never have to go through. I can explain it to you, random person here. She's famous on TikTok because an algorithm picked up what she did, and then she created something, and then people started watching it, and it snowballed because I don't know, actually. I can't really explain it to you. Again, algorithm. It's all about the algorithm. I could be wrong, though, and a lot of people may correct me about the dancing thing because I'm not a dancer, but I can see good dancing, but I don't know what it is. It's the dancing is not that it's bad, it's just that it's not, I don't know how to say it. Is it creative? I don't know. It's like the Backpack Kid. I have no idea. I'm an old dad. You're wrong. I'd like to point out I have also never seen an episode of The Kardashians. Like, I've seen snippets here and there because how can you avoid it? And I feel like this is the same way. Camera crews are following you around to your life, and it's all planned and scripted right down to sometimes the things that they say, and it's not actually a glimpse into their life at all.
Let's start it on out.
Did you guys tell me if I had dandruff?
Who would?
Does she have people do this for her every day?
So I can't see the top of my head. I am Charli D'Amelio. I'm 16 years old. You might know me from TikTok. This might be your first time seeing me ever. Thinking back to June of 2019, I was 15 years old, living in Connecticut with my mom, dad, and my sister. I was always super into dancing. I used to train sometimes 7 days a week.
By the way, this is exactly what family vloggers like the LeBrants want for someone like Everly. This is what Daniel Cohn's mom wants for her. This is what Piper Raquel's mom wants for her. Liliana Ketchman, all the dance moms people. This is exactly what they want. They want to be famous and make a show like the Kardashians or like now the D'Amelios. And if this show does take off, watch what happens. More and more are going to do it.
Being a dancer my entire life, it wasn't like I decided I'm going to do dancing on TikTok. It was like, that's easy for me, that's fun.
Hey, did you know 1 out of 3 hoes are mad?
When I started this, I was not trying to get likes at all. I was making and doing little dance videos with
I don't believe you.
my friends.
Here we go. Step.
If someone were to ask me why I do social media, I would ask them why they
See, this is what I'm talking about. Those are the dances. It's like, and that made them millions of dollars. I don't get it. I am out of touch. I know I'm out of touch. I mean, I could do that. I'm saying I could do that. And if I can do the thing that they're doing, it does not take talent. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to get at. But again, algorithm made her famous. She needs to thank the algorithm.
Got to dance on stage with BB Rexa. Justin Bieber asked me to send his little sister a video. So it's like things like that.
Justin Bieber's little sister?
It's like,
I'm actually glad that I don't know that. That is actually awesome. That Justin Bieber's little sister and nobody knows who she is. That's how you do it, Bieber. Good for you, buddy.
I was the one that wanted to move to LA, and I convinced my family out here.
Well, you make all the money, so again, this is the proof that you need that a 16-year-old, maybe she's 15 at the time, tells her parents, hello parents, by the way, we're going to move to LA, and the parents say, okay. That is why this dynamic has shifted. The power dynamics of a family like this are way off. A child should not be making adult decisions like she's making. They did it for money. Can you blame them? I mean, yeah, but you can't, sort of.
When we were in lockdown in Connecticut, I felt like there was so much more that I could be doing, and I kept getting these work opportunities out in LA that I couldn't do.
Holy. November 2020, she hits 100 million followers during COVID.
Cannot believe there's 100 million supporters following me right now. I still feel like it's a dream.
Her parents all even think I feel like she's not as fake as them. She's like a real person.
Hey, these are the kids she's influenced. I feel like she's real. No, she's not seeing her real life. And that is dangerous.
Can you ever really imagine 100 million people?
No.
Like, no, that's crazy.
No thanks.
It's still something that I have to get used to.
I want to point out, too, that Charli D'Amelio has so many followers and fans and probably one of the biggest stars that she is a target for so many dangerous people. And I likely will not ever be able to live a normal life ever again. Probably has to have 24-hour armed security with her at all times. Even when she's getting out of a car when the paparazzi's around, you know there's security. Like, she's not safe. We did a video a couple of days ago about that influencer at 1.2 million subscribers on TikTok who had an OnlyFans, and she was murdered by one of her fans. And this is happening all over the world. And she is in danger. And that's why one of the main reasons I talk about this type of stuff is that's why you shouldn't be putting these kids on and allowing your kids to be TikTok famous or influencers of any kind. There needs to be a place where parents need to be like, nope. And there are examples of it. And I'm going to find them. There's one that did send me, and this mom's like, nope, we're cutting it off. And like, this has to be heard more.
Obviously, I don't know. Don't have a stalker yet, which is nice.
Oh, you do. I promise, out of 100 million followers on TikTok, you have a stalker.
I used to think TikTok.
Can you imagine being a 17-year-old girl waking up and having full-time hairdressers do your hair? I mean, I need it for sure, but I can't even imagine the type of lifestyle this takes where you have so many millions upon millions of dollars that paying someone, say, $75,000 a year is nothing for you. It's nothing. Yes, please, but not at the expense of my children.
I'm very excited.
People have made comments. I think someone has a career because of Charli. What would you say to that?
Yeah, thanks. I don't care. I don't have to be.
Hey, you know what? She just admitted something that most managers and talent people would say, don't ever admit that. She just admitted, she's like, of course I have a career because of my sister. Here's the thing that separates these girls. I don't know what I'm kind of drawn to them because I feel like they totally understand, unlike Piper and Danielle Cohn and all these other influencer girls out there, that they're so wrapped up and been groomed to do that. These girls were not groomed from a young age. They just kind of popped on a couple of years ago. And they kind of see it. They kind of realize, hey, yeah, you know what? You're right. We don't deserve this platform, but we got it. Right? And they don't say, I deserve this. They don't say stupid shit like that. And I kind of like that. I'm not going to lie. I kind of love the idea of we're just capturing memories for the family. I love that they're real. And I know I say that, but I think that's maybe why people really are endeared to them. Does that make sense? But her parents are still a-holes. Check it out.
How to survive, parenthood. Make it.
Okay, but I don't know how.
But that's what you're figuring out.
Struggle.
Is it a struggle? Your daughter bought you a $30 million mansion in LA. I get your struggles. I absolutely get your struggles. I have similar struggles. Very similar struggles. I can't get my kid to do the dishes, lady. Relax. You don't have parenting struggles. You're not even a parent. Charlie's the parent. Charlie makes the rules, everybody.
We had the conversation, the whole family, just saying like, look, we had a very fun, happy life living in Connecticut, and this is a risk. And if it's not fun, then we have to rethink it.
It's not fun. And again, the money, okay, I want to take this apart a little bit. He's like, we had a great life before all this. And that is exactly what everybody should strive for. A great family life where you don't need a ton of money to, like, they seem like they're pretty wealthy anyway, but you don't need millions upon millions upon millions of dollars to be happy. I think the D'Amelios are going to look back in 10 years and say, I wanted what we had before this. Because when money and power and all this type of influence and stuff enter into the picture, everything changes. You are no longer going to be able to have a semblance of normal life ever again. And all that you had before, it's gone. Because now you have paparazzi following, now you have creepers following, you now have people trying to get at you at all times, trying to tear you down at every 2 seconds. Okay, like there's no normalcy anymore. And they're saying, well, if it's going to be bad, then we don't want to see it. Again, at the end of this episode, I think we're going to see that he's not saying that. By the end of this episode, you're going to see that he doesn't actually mean that at all.
Charlie wanted to move here the most, but I did all the heavy work of finding a house and convincing my parents.
If I didn't cry 3 times a day,
I know, but you would have an emotional, like...
which I think worked better.
I think we were just ready.
It was time.
It was time.
Was it time? Okay, cool. Was it time to move into your giant gated mansion in LA? Yeah, I get it. I would too. I mean, for sure.
Went from like 0 to 100 like that, from her getting recognized in a restaurant to both kids now being mobbed.
You can get famous really fast on TikTok.
We've heard the horror stories where young people rise to meteoric fame and then things don't work out. So really all we're trying to do is have some fun and make sure all this social media stuff doesn't destroy our lives.
Too late, my friend. I mean, destroy life in what way? I mean, let's take the pros and the cons. The pros of this type of lifestyle is that you have more money than you know what to do with. You literally can buy anything that you absolutely want. Jeffree Star money. Like buy a 12-story mansion with 4,000 cars and live by yourself with dogs. Okay? What kind of life? I get, like, some people would say I'd love that life, but most people, if you actually break it down, would not enjoy that. And when you get into that lifestyle, you actually don't enjoy that. So the pros are tons of money. The cons are loneliness. I think once we start realizing that money isn't going to solve all our problems, and we've been saying this for decades and eons, but no one really seems to care. Because maybe we're wrong. Maybe money does solve all your problems. Maybe money is better than not having any or not being as rich. Because we always say money isn't everything, but these people don't ever stop. They don't ever stop to consider. They don't ever come up to the point where everything is shit and they go, okay, we are done with this. We are walking away. It's very rare. So if that's the case, if it's so bad, why don't we see more people walking away from this lifestyle? So the cons are, again, lonely, and you can't trust anybody. You can't reach out to anybody. You can't have a real conversation with anybody because it's going to get posted online eventually. Someone's going to call you out. Someone's going to turn on you, whistle blow. You got to have everybody who works for you has to sign an NDA. Everybody you come in contact has to sign an NDA. You cannot live a normal life anymore, and you are absolutely stalked by predators. So I'm pretty sure the cons outweigh the pros, but I also would like to have a yacht.
I have no idea how this is going to work out in the long run. Honestly, we could move back to Connecticut and social media could like go away like this. I have no idea.
Not anymore.
What's the biggest thing that's changed in your life in the last year and a half?
My life is very busy. I basically work a full-time job, which is that part of social media that...
I hope they talk about, I go to school for the day and then I do this stuff. They seem like smart kids. Please tell me she's getting an education.
No one gets to see. We can go through a day. We do a day.
Yeah, that same phone case.
I had to get ready for content.
Samesies. Twins. We're basically twins, right?
My content meeting, do a Q&A post, podcast, fitting for my shoot the next day. I still have to do school.
Okay, thank God she does school.
Going on in my life. It's just kind of been like crazy.
Look at that. Now, another danger of this type of lifestyle, and this does carry over to family vloggers, is that's Charli D'Amelio's day. She's 17. Do you guys think, and she's probably 16 in this, do you guys think that that's going to have a detrimental effect to her on her life? That she has no free time to just be a kid? To just be bored? to use her imagination, to sit around and do nothing, to go hang out with her friends, to go get lost in the forest, you know, throw snowballs at cars, that type of stuff. Does nobody realize how dangerous it is right there? Any child psychologist should look at this video and be like, don't ever do this to your child, right? Okay.
So what this is it's a look at your 2021. This is the major things we're focusing on. So we have all partnerships. We have, the different companies you're working with, like, ring lights and starting a clothing company. So, and then you have books and TV shows. So
parents are sitting there like, yeah, this is cool. This is normal for a 17-year-old. Get me that friggin' Range Rover I want.
The business projects that I'm most excited for this year are definitely Social Tourist. So Social Tourist is a clothing line with Hollister, and it's Dixie and I's line. That's been something that I've really been able to curate with my sister, and that's been super awesome. And with Hollister.
Did you think?
It's so crazy because at the point of your fame, all they really do is someone says, we're going to use your name and we're going to show you some designs and you sign off on those designs. We'll do all the rest. When you get to a point of fame, you don't really have to do anything. Your name makes you money, right? They don't do anything. They don't sit on Photoshop and create designs for their hoodies and sweatshirts and stuff like that. I do want to point out that sometimes they dress really modestly, which I kind of like. And if their clothes are modest, that's kind of cool. I'm not going to lie. But you don't launch businesses. There's 400 people doing that behind the scenes, and all they do is send you a binder and says, what do you think of these? Like it, don't like it. Here you go. And then she passes the binder off, and then she makes $2 million. That's what happens, or 10 million, or whatever.
Think when you were, a year and a half ago in Connecticut that you'd have a clothing company?
Definitely not. I thought I was maxing out at merch.
Right? So how do you feel about 2021?
I think this is definitely a lot more stuff than I thought I was doing.
I think so too.
Scary.
They laid everything out in the binders.
When are parents going to be like, hey, you know what? Can we just dial back? Because a management company and the people behind her are going to convince her parents, who might even have apprehensions, to say, hey, look, we got to strike while the iron's hot, get $500 million right off the top, because if we go slow, we're not going to get it. And that's just the way the business works. So they have a choice to make. Do all those binders in 1 year, or do a quarter of those binders and make a quarter of the money, but have more time to be a family. That's a choice they have to make.
Which is amazing, but also for me terrifying, because I'm like, where is the binder where she gets to be a kid?
Yeah.
And
where's that one?
Time for dance, because that's who she was before all of this, and that's who she's kind of lost. So
her mom admitting that she's lost her childhood already, yet here they are on the television show. I hope they say, hey, we're not doing this anymore. Because if you're saying all this stuff, knowing that there is a solution to it all, but you do nothing towards that solution, then all that is smoke up people's ass. That's all that is.
Try and keep that as normal as it was.
It's a virtue signal to make them look good, but they don't really mean anything that they're saying.
Is there room for dance and to be a kid and to have do nothing time with all of this?
Nope.
Yes, 100% yes. And
there is. I promise.
And
please let her do it all.
Human being is the only thing that matters here.
Is it, Greg, the manager of the president of D'Amelio's? Is that the only thing that matters? Not the 44 binders on the floor totaling $100 million? Is that what's more important? Again, why do people say shit that everybody can see right through? Everybody can see through that. Anybody with a brain, any parent with a brain, hears him say that and says, yeah, that's bullshit, dude. But they're like, oh, okay, cool. Just asking because I want to make sure that we look good on camera.
It's a lot, but it's really organized and it's really well timed out. So now we can look at the calendar and say, cool, where do we fit in dance? Where do we fit in hanging? Where do we fit in all the fun stuff she wants?
I never wanted to stop competition. The only reason I stopped was because of COVID. So it's been a little bit over a year since I've actually trained for dance. It's something that I've always done. That's kind of been my normal throughout all of this, and it would be nice to kind of keep my normal and keep my life a little bit sane. I do have 2 years
that ship sailed, lady.
left of competition in my future, and I'm not gonna just throw that away because of social media,
You can now look at a calendar. You can say, hey, there's 3 weeks where I have nothing going on. Amazing.
3 whole weeks? This teenager gets 3 whole weeks to herself? Whoa. Calm down there, Presidente. 3 weeks? If I was a parent, I'd be like, did you say 3 weeks? 3 weeks where she gets to be a normal person? Thanks, but no.
Let's take a trip when COVID opens up, or let's, learn a new language, or let's do something that you're passionate about. But I think that it's, she gave me a face. She's not going to learn a new language, apparently.
She'll learn one if you learn one.
Then nobody's learning a language.
So funny.
I want you to contribute to the tone and the lyrics, because
This is the thing that gets me about Triller and like these labels, Gavin, all these little kids who want to be like, they have a social media following, and so they're like, what's next? Let's make music. Daniel Cohn did this, Piper Raquel. None of their music is good. And it surprises me because they have tons of money to hire amazing artists to help them write this music. And yet they always end up going with, I don't know who writes the music that these kids write, that these kids sing, because it's terrible. If you have this kind of money, hire somebody amazing. But here it is. I think the idea is that most artists who are decent at what they do would never lend their name to this shit, because these kids don't actually have abilities. Not on the level of most singers and actors, okay? They don't have that ability. They're just using their platform they can sell records, yes, they can sell streams, but they're not really good. So most major artists would actually not work with kids who aren't on that level of talent. That's my hearsay. That's my conjecture. And so they're locked into hiring no-namers to write the music that's not very good at all. And she just said, we want you to focus on the tone. We'll write it. You just say yes or no, but say yes.
that's what's going to speak to your fans.
Yeah. Kate is my A&R at Hitco. She kind of helps me with everything right now, the whole process of releasing and all that, so she's very helpful.
Is there really that much money in writing crappy music? Because if there is, I'm going to write crappy music for TikTokers. And I've said this before. It is so easy to write shitty music. So easy. And for whatever reason, that shitty music is always at the top of the billboards for these people. It's so easy to write garbage music. It's hard to write really good music.
The more we make new songs, the more I hate the old songs a little bit.
So that happens. That's normal. This is the discovery process. Like, we're figuring out what you're good at, what sounds natural.
Okay. Charlie and I both have our own ideas of what we want to do. I've always loved music. I've always had music in my life.
TikTok views 1 billion, YouTube views 104 million, Spotify listens 77 million. And I've never heard that song before. So they're capitalizing on their fame. And again, another kid in a bathtub. What the hell is it with these kids in bathtubs in these videos? Is there some kind of like thing I'm missing? Why do they put kids in bathtubs? Is that some like weird secret Hollywood entranceway into music or something? What is that about? That's weird.
If you were given a chance to record in a music studio and have your own career and be able to sing music and put out songs that you love, you're gonna say no? That's good to know. You're gonna try for sure. And I'm not saying she can't. And she's got a good point here. Are you gonna say no? No, you're not. These people are all faced with choices in life, choices that are going to affect them for the rest of their lives. But every step of the way, people are going to make the choice to make the money, and they're going to leverage the platform. And every step they take towards more fame and more fame and more fame is one step further away from a normal life that you used to have and love. And I'm not saying they can't love their new life, but at the same time, this fame and fortune, all this stuff, not like I know, it feels like it comes with so much loneliness. I think if you ask a lot of famous people about their upbringing, specifically like someone like Paris Hilton or Britney Spears or all these actors and child stars and famous singers that grew up kind of like in her age range, I feel like a lot of them would say I was so lonely. And that makes me sad. You're gonna say no. I think that's cute. Because no, you're not.
I'm going to earn everything I do. I'm going to work for it. But I mean, I'm just so grateful for how.
Are you? I'm sorry. Like I kind of like these girls, but no, don't say that. You're going to pay writers to write your music for you, produce your music, play your music, and that's fine. If I had that kind of money, I would absolutely pay a producer and go write a new album. If I had $100,000 right now, I would do my dream for sure. I would get the band together again. I would go back on tour. I loved it with all of my heart. It was the most amazing time of my life. I have never had more fun. Until my kids came along, the most rewarding thing in my life was cutting records and touring. It is amazing. It really is. And you got to work really hard for it. But these people don't grind. There's a difference between, maybe I'll tell you that story someday, but the difference between somebody who's working and grinding up to the top than having it handed to you because you're already famous. And for people who are artists and singers and all those types of things that don't get that handed to them, there is kind of a disparage there. So when the grind is important because it teaches you humility. And when you get to the top, it's like, yeah, right? They didn't get the grind. The grind is important, and I'm sad that they're not going to get the grind because the grind makes you into who you are.
My thing is, like, the longer we wait to put stuff out, the less momentum.
Why, in this world of like instant gratification and Spotify and iTunes and YouTube and all this stuff, why are people still putting out full records? Put out a single, let it roll, put out another single, put out another single. That's kind of how this world should be. I don't know what they're talking about here. I don't like that.
Starting music with
I'm fast forwarding because this is so long. I skipped a whole shitload because I want to get to the part we need to be talking about. But Charli D'Amelio is going to compete, and it is going to be good for dance. Specifically, any dance that she goes to is going to pile the people in, and all those, you know what, there's one good thing that's going to come from this. And all the kids who work really hard at dance competitions are all going to be seen by anybody who goes to one of her competitions. But do you know the competition is going to be insane? And you know that she's going to win because she's famous. I don't know how good she is. Maybe she's really good too, but...
That long, like they're 15 seconds, you know? So it's like different than a 2-minute, 45-second full body dance.
I should be doing this. I'll make millions. The dad who does TikTok dances. Where is the part where they're crying? Lots of hate, lots of hate. It's just straight up jealousy. I know this video is long. It's one of the most important things, and I'm likely going to get massively copyright striked on this. But this is the most important part of this video, and I haven't seen this yet. And the camera's coming around a corner already makes this disingenuous. The mom knew the camera's there.
It just makes me feel like I don't deserve anything, and trying, like I'm trying to do everything I can to better myself, and it just gets worse.
This is, I don't think this is fake. This is absolutely real, what she's going through here, and her parents are there, and this is visceral. They loved that they captured this on video, and it's so real because this is likely something that's happening to them a lot, okay? Likely a producer or someone's feeding this to them to start setting them off. But hear this out. If this is my daughter, okay, and I had a good life before all this, millions upon millions and mansions and everything like that, if I actually sat down with my daughter and she was doing this, and I loved my child, and I do, any parent worth their salt would stop this shit right in its tracks and say, look, you know what? This isn't worth it. Here's what we're going to do this year. We're going to focus on a little bit of music, and that's it. Or we're going to do one thing at a time, or we're not going to do this at all. Let's go back to Connecticut and have good old-fashioned family Christmases like we used to. At that point, a parent can step in, not her, she's an adult, but a parent can step in and say, we're not going to be part of this anymore. Sorry. Okay, at some point, a parent needs to be a parent, specifically these two parents, who aren't going to do anything like that because the money matters more than anything else. That is why this is so important to talk about. Cameras. The cameras, guys. Don't forget there's cameras. You can't be a genuine parent right now when you know there are cameras on you. If this is an absolute, and I do think that she's having this response, but the response from the parents can't actually be real because there are cameras in the room. They can't actually be and say what they really want to say here. You can't do it. Impossible. You cannot be good parents when cameras are on your face.
And make it like a negative thing. And I literally got back from the gym, and then they posted a video of just that 15-second clip, and they're like, oh my god, she's so musty. I'm like, shut the up! Like, stop! Everyone just picks apart every single thing I say and do and the way I look, and I went to the gym.
We're at a position right now where we're watching something unfold that should scare the shit out of anybody who puts their kids on the internet for fame and money. This happened to Britney Spears, and now look where Britney Spears is. She literally can't have babies. She has someone telling her where to go, when to go, what she can do, because she had a mental breakdown similar to this. And the judge and everybody else decided, in order for you to be a person that's going to be here, not commit suicide or whatever the case may be, or live this craziness, we are going to tell you what to do from now on. And a lot of people hate that. I actually am on Brittany's side. I feel like she does need help, but I feel like it's gone a little too far. But you're witnessing something here of someone who's been on TikTok for 2 years, okay? All that pressure on this teenager, all of that. And we're watching this in real time. We're seeing this. And nobody seems to be talking about the idea that, like, get off. Stop. There's a play here. The play by the parents is to say, you know what, guys? It is not worth it for my daughter to go through this insane amount of stress and pressure, because this could lead to different things: anxiety, depression, suicide, eating disorders, everything else that the pressure is mounted on these children's shoulders. That is where a parent needs to step in and start being a parent and say, we are effing done with this. No amount of money is worth the pressure that she's under right now. It is not worth it. But what's going to happen? I can't wait to hear what the parents have to say.
Like, I know. Like, it just sucks. Like, I know it's just like people's opinions, but it hurts so much because it's like everyone else can like show emotions or like talk about things and everyone like supports them, but anytime I talk about like literal shit I've been through, it doesn't matter, and it's like it just turns into a joke, and it's so not like, I know.
Is the trade-off worth it? What she's going through here is insane. And again, a lot of people will say, oh, boo-hoo, Dixie D'Amelio is sad because we make fun of her. But she can cry in her $20 bills and jump in her pool of money and all that stuff. And you can say all that stuff. And I said, I responded to this on Def Noodle's Instagram. And I said, look, the option she has right here, and all the power is in Dixie D'Amelio's court right now. Okay, all of it is in her court. She's an adult. All Dixie D'Amelio has to do is take the millions that she's made right now, invest it into something else that's going to make her money, and step away from the limelight. I feel like it's just going to be the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one, and then it's going to be public breakups, and it's going to be like if she says something stupid, like something racist by accident, or does something crazy, or goes to a party, or travels during COVID, or, you know, gets pregnant young, or whatever the case may be. Everything she's going to do from this point forward in her life, if she continues to be famous, is going to be scrutinized to the like molecular level, okay? And that is it. But she absolutely has a choice. Her parents absolutely have a choice when it comes to the other one, Charlie, okay? They can make the choice. They are the parent. They are the ones who can say, hey guys, we're done with this. Or we're going to massively scale this back, and we are pretty comfortable with that, okay? There are so many solutions here, but they're just sitting there, and they're like, oh my gosh, I just want to quit because that's my money.
We're here for you, Ben.
Oh, are you?
It's going to get better. I promise you it's going to get better.
How do you know it's going to get better there, Haircut? It's not going to get better. This will not get better. This will get worse. Ask any child star who grew up in Hollywood. Again, they've only been in this for 2 years. They shot to superstardom in 2 years. Do you think this is going to get better? The only way this gets better is if either you never read another comment about you ever again, which is likely what you should be doing, or you step away from the spotlight. He can't say that because he has no idea it's going to get better. It's going to get worse. They ended that with, if you're having like basically suicidal thoughts, contact this. And again, that to me, good. I'm glad they did that. But they ended this whole series or this whole episode of their incredible lives and how they built up this to Dixie D'Amelio having a mental breakdown about the comments they receive because she lives in her sister's shadow or whatever the case may be, okay? But again, I hope that Dixie is smart enough to understand that the amount of money she's going to make from this is absolutely not worth the scrutiny she's going to live. She will never be able to live a normal life. The boys she's going to meet, she's going to have to be vetted. They're going to have to be, you're never going to be able to trust somebody. You're never going to have, these Hollywood, how many Hollywood romances actually work out? Right? They're going to date other famous people because those other famous people know what it's like to be famous. They're not going to be able to date regular people. They're not going to be able to have normal lives. They are not going to have normal lives from this point forward. But they have an opportunity as young ladies right now at this moment. It's just such a pivotal moment in time right now. And it would be a drastic undertaking. And the whole world would be talking about it for a little while. But to say, you know what? It is not worth it to my mental health to put myself in this position any longer. I am done on social media. I'm going to take my millions that I made. I'm going to invest in something that I really, really enjoy, a business, a startup, whatever the case may be. And I'm going to go do that because they can still make tons of money. They just don't, being famous is not worth this. Anybody out there watching the show right now who's a parent, if your kid broke down like that because they are having so much pressure put on them because they are famous, how does that make you feel? And what would you do about it? Would you do anything about it? Or would you say, well, it's your dream, we're going to here to support you and do that? Or would you say, if I was that dad sitting in front of her right now, I'd look at her and I'd say, look me in the eyes right now. You know I love you and I'm here for you and I will support you no matter what you do. But you tell me right now, you want to walk away and I will make that happen right now. Instead of, oh, I'm here for you. Okay, that was bullshit. That was not the way a parent should deal with this type of thing. We'll see if this video makes it. Take a deep breath. Very interesting. This family. I feel like these girls are way too smart to be social media influencers, and I hope that they're smart enough to realize and back off when it's time to back off and be done with this whole shit show. They could be a catalyst for massive change in influence culture. And of course, likely won't happen. I get why. There's a whole team of people now who they have to feed. Not only do their parents, they have to feed their parents and pay for housing and all that stuff for their parents, they now have probably a team of, could be up to hundreds of people that now rely on the D'Amelios to feed their families. And that is pressure on a teenager that should never exist. Agreed? Don't agree? What did I get wrong? Let me know below. I'll see you tomorrow.